Okay, cool. So it's your boy Kamal Hart on the chart, and we're going bar by bar. Last week was Thanksgiving, so we kind of had some time off, but it's Monday and we're back at it. Um, so off the bat, we kind of had two legs higher. You can see those legs right there. And now we have kind of two legs lower. See the congestion in the middle, and here's the middle of possibly a second leg. The first thing I'm going to look for is I see that this first leg can take a measured move from there and bring it to the highs of this leg. And now we have a target somewhere down there for prices to hit. And then for a trend line, I at least see kind of like a spiking channel, a break outside, first leg down. Maybe we're going to get a second leg down. So while I was watching today, I'm actually trading from the East Coast. That's why we're starting at 9 as opposed to 6 like normal. But when I walked in, I saw this setup, and off this double top right here, it's a lower high, but it's not really a great signal bar. But to me, since prices were so bearish and we were coming off the EMA, um, I thought this trade might be worth taking. I didn't take it just because of what I said. The setup was a little aggressive, and I didn't want to come back from the break taking aggressive trades out the gate. But even when I saw this real time, I really considered this might be a good place to go short. And even if you look at these lows, see where it bounced, off those double bounces, you might be able to find your trend line. I could kind of see that coming up right over there, right off of there. So, one more touch and we can get a confirmed trend line. But for all those reasons, I wasn't ready to take this short. But it took it a second to go. But when it does go, it went off. And that goes all the way to the lows. That would have been a pretty nice trade. Then here's the failed second entry short, but you're so close to the lows, you're not at the EMA or the trend line. Um, it's just too aggressive to take it. Even though it worked, that's not where you want to go short. So I skipped that one for sure. And then here we get this kind of like big breakout, and there's no other swing lows for me to bring this channel line down. So when I see like the breakout, I'm just going to measure my trend line kind of like an equidistance, probably somewhere around here, and make this my midline now. So you just expand it. And you can see how we kind of broke outside, but then now we're getting a bounce. That's actually where I took my trade of the day. I scaled down because this is an aggressive place to take a trade, especially since everything's going down. But I also was aware that we were so far from the EMA and that there was already kind of a buy setup that failed. This is like the second time it did it, and this time it actually broke below and then came back above. I felt a little better about buying there. I only bought one contract because since it's aggressive, I didn't want to enter like on my normal size in case it doesn't go for me. So then it pulls back and then gives me another signal bar. I like that signal bar. Now that's the lower high. If you were going to trade it, you're probably waiting for this bar. And when I saw that bar form, I added one more contract right there. Once again, I'm just going for a scalp though. I'm not turning this into a swing or anything. So on this next bar, I'm out. So that was my trade. I made money. It's not terrible. I think the only thing to note is that um, that was counter trend, and a better trade was coming in like 10 minutes. And had I waited for that trade, that would have been much more profitable than the little bit I made over here. So kind of my notes on that is just waiting for the real setup as opposed to just taking anything that you can get. So here you get this signal bar. It's not a second entry though, so I'm not really ready to take that, and it's not even off the midline or the EMA, so there's nothing there that I like. And then that kind of applies here too as well, where there's nothing there that you can really take safely. Here you get the lower high. I like this one because it's off the EMA and the midline, and there's room to the lows of the day. So if you saw that, I'd probably be down and go short there. That one does pretty well. And then here's your failed second entry short. This is the trade that I really should have took. You know, like I was saying from before, this is right before I had to leave for the gym. But had I more time, this would have been the trade that you really were looking for. Everything's still in this the bottom half of the trend line. You know, and at this point, there's plenty of room to the lows. I would almost start to consider like a measured leg. Maybe this is leg 1. And then it's kind of like a congestion, and there's going to be a leg 2. So if that's the middle, you might have a target way, way down there. But either way, I'm going short there, looking to exit probably when it touches this trend line. And that one ticks on down. That even goes through the trend line, so you for sure would have been out. And it keeps going. No way to know it's going to do all this. And as it's doing all this, one of the most important things to remember is that we've already expanded the channel once. So the fact that it's breaking out again means that the markets are really, really weak. And what we need to wait for is a pullback really to the higher side of this channel. I wouldn't really just look for the pullback to the EMA unless it gives you a really strong setup. You really need it to come back to this high side and let everything play out. So really we're waiting. There's not much more you can do even though it keeps going down. If you didn't get in up here or up here or there, kind of the suggested entries, you just have to watch. So I'm watching. There you get a higher low. And then you get a failed second entry short. And see right there, that's kind of the thing with the whole, like if you would have took this second entry short off there, it's almost at the EMA, second entry short to the lows. The problem with that short is that we just broke out of this channel. And before you go short after this breakout, we need to reset. So that would have failed. But you can make at least a trend line, and you can just watch, see how it responds to the trend line on the reversal. So I'm waiting, pull up, got that little pullback right there. I'm not really looking for longs, so I'm cool just waiting. And see how it's turning down? Maybe we can make this a little tighter. Maybe we did something more like, see right there, it kind of gets all those touches. I like that trend line better. Then you probably have something coming off there, and then another one that was like down here. So you still end up in the same place, get the breakout, a reversal. Now it's kind of turning back down. So now is when we're looking for shorts. Here's your higher low, but that signal bar isn't great, and the micro trend hasn't played out either. So a little too soon. And then here you get the failed second entry short. That's a good one. Just off the EMA, lots of room to the lows. It's pretty clear now prices are actually moving lower. That's where I want to go short. And then I see how we had a micro trend, but it didn't test the highs. before making a reversal trend. So I'm going to be on guard because maybe there's a range coming soon. So I'm going to be real careful to look for bounces and things like that. But that's the short, and you're going to have plenty of room to the lows. Pull the trigger on that one. There's no trade there. Got a little double bottom and a bounce. Then here you get a nice signal bar to that double bottom. You can actually exit before the double bottom, so that's even better. That's a second entry short. So you're going to want to take that one too. And that one plays out. Here, the way I'm seeing this also is I'm going to change this measured move and make this entire leg 1. And then now we're going to look for a leg 2 down there. And then for a shorter term target, I'm going to look at this leg right here and then see what we get from there. So those are my 2 targets for now. There you get a kind of like a reversal bar. That's pretty sideways. Kind of important note. Remember what I was saying about the micro trends with no retest. And if you look, we're getting a bounce right here at the lows with a reversal pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and actually treat this like a range now, since we're getting bounces. I'm going to look at it something more like this. That would be my range. So maybe I'm going to buy down here and sell up here. And you get a nice breakout. This buy is just a first entry. See how it hits that measured move. That's just a first entry, so there's nothing there that I see that I like. That's your higher low, but once again, I'm still not quite into that one yet. And then here's a second entry short, but we're back into the range. So I'm not 100% about going short there into the EMA like that. I want to wait and see what happens. And then a few bars later, when this bull bar breaks above this red bar off this low, that's a failed second entry short. I would be looking to buy. I would buy that. And you could even give it a trend line. I wouldn't stress the trend line so much as long as you're aware of the range. But just for the visual, I'll put it on the chart. So right there, I'm looking to buy. A lot of times when you get a big like oversell, when you get back to this other side of the trend line, it just keeps going. So the fact that it oversold, came to the trend line, went a little bit lower, that's a little bit atypical. So your short-term trends are really what's going to keep you on the right side until it becomes clear again what the market is doing. So that trade ends up going well. You know, for targets, you're just looking for a scalp and then maybe a touch on this high side, and then maybe your third target is somewhere up here if you're willing to hold the swings. And that one pulls back, so there wouldn't have been a swing off this candle. It's just a first entry, but you're kind of getting a breakout. Let's see if we get the retest. And it doesn't. And then once prices break below here, you're kind of getting a failed second entry short or failed second entry long. So once again, you know, the microtrend kind of gets invalidated depending on how you look at it. And right there, it gets invalidated. So you could have went short right there on that reversal bar. And I would make yet another trend for this one and see if you get a breakout retest. See how you're getting all the stack up? All that stack up there. We're going to wait and just sit on our hands through all this. Yep. And at this point, I'm even considering maybe the range. Let's move it down over here. And then we can make that the old midline. Maybe move it a little bit, but somewhere in here. So now we kind of have it's a pretty big range actually. We're gonna look to buy off these lows if we get the setup. Got a push below, that's cool. Look at that double bottom. It's too early to buy it, but on another failure, like right here, if it breaks above, you want to buy there. See that break, and then that one goes. And then once again, the target is going to be a scalp, maybe a target at the midline, and then if you can hold on to your swing, there'd be another target over here on the high side. There's not as much evidence for this high side trade. I would almost look at the most recent high there and bring my midline down so you can keep it a little tighter. I like that a lot better. So now you're getting a move up to the high side. Let's chart it just to see it real time. See right there, there's no trade there. See how we're at the midline? We're on the upper side of the range. We're not looking to go long anymore. We need to be very careful unless we get a very clear setup. See how all of them would have failed trying to go long. But now that it's pulling back to the low side, once it gets to the low side, when it gives you the setup, that's where you might want to buy. This failed second entry isn't super valid because it's the reverse of what I said earlier. Now we're on the low side. Going short on the low side is too risky, so you wouldn't have wanted to take that. You're going to be waiting for a buy somewhere in here. First pullback, that's not a good signal bar though. So it's like, not really engaged with that. And if you look here, see you got this leg, the breakout. Now you're getting another leg. Let's see if you measure this leg, if the second one matches it. Be there. So yeah, a couple more points to go to see if you get it measured. And you see you get the measured move, break below. You get a break below, and then here's the failed second entry. It's on the high side of the range, so even though it looks okay, you're gonna have to skip it, unfortunately, because it's just not in the right spot technically. And even to make it worse, on this micro trend, you already broke out and made a new high. You already made a measured move. It's not touching the EMA. It's actually a really big bar, so even if you enter, you're going to risk a little bit more than 2 points. It's like 5 things that make this trade not so great. And we're going to skip it. It works. That's okay. Now just get ready, maybe look for a short now that we're up here. Okay, prices at least touch the EMA. Prices have closed below the EMA. We started above, now we're below. We beat a previous swing. So let's see that as a micro trend. Let's see if we can find more shorts. That's a lower high, but that's really big. I'm going to skip it. And that one goes, but nothing you can do about that. And this one's interesting. This is the failed second entry long off the EMA, but it's on the wrong side of the range. It's on the lower side of the range. Although there's a lot of space to the lows, and it worked over here, but I think building that discipline muscle is more important than stealing a trade. So technically, this is another one you have to skip, and it would have got you what you needed, not much more. So yeah, we keep it moving. So now you're getting congestion inside the range, so you got to be really careful. I'm waiting for a touch and a buy, touch and a sell. Anything in here, I'm gonna ignore. See, I was just going back and forth like that. It's nothing worth risking yet. Finally, you get the breakout. That's good. And off this low, that's the first move lower. It fails. And then here's the second move if it breaks above. See how it broke above right there off the EMA? If this is your micro trend, actually that was the failed second entry right there. But you know, once again, you're in the range and you're trading on the wrong side of the range. It's better to wait. Finally, get a two-legged retest back up to these highs. See to this low, that's a second entry short off these highs. It's going to be a bit aggressive. That's why you just, you know, we're waiting for a lower high. See how this thing keeps going higher. You see the bigger context there. And it's the East Coast, so there's only about an hour, maybe 30 minutes left actually. Goes till 3 on the East Coast. So, you know, I'm probably already winding down for the day. There are already a lot of good trades early. It's getting really congested, so I'm not pressed to force anything right now. Another push up. See how prices are coming down? That's the lower high. That's a decent lower high. Good signal bar outside of this range. See what time it is though. It's 3 o'clock. You know, if you're aggressive and have some time, you can maybe take that one. That one works pretty well. But that for sure is probably the last trade you're going to take. I'm not going to trade much past 3 o'clock. So really good in the morning, and then midday it kind of got a little noisy, a little hard to find good trades, and then maybe one good trade right before the close. But today was a good day for trading. Just have to remember once you get that breakout that prices are going to congest or reverse, and today they congested. But that's pretty much all we got for today. Fairly straightforward. But I'll be back again tomorrow. Probably won't be trading as much this week because I'll be traveling for work and stuff. But I will still do the reviews, so you can just be on the lookout for that, even if I don't have any trades posted. But until then, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's night, and I will see y'all tomorrow.